Hello everyone, Soulless Scientist here again, and today, as promised, we are taking a look at the newest heroes added to the roster, Attikus and Galilea. Both are melee-focused characters with resource-based combat, but I think they can cater to different styles of play, and I hope this overview will help you determine which hero is right for you. So, let's get started. Attikus is a member of the Thrall, the Jennerit underclass who act as the Empire's slaves and laborers. Wounded during a slave uprising, his overseers augmented him with a cybernetic work harness to restore him to working condition, but this had some unintended results. The harness modified not only his strength, but his intelligence as well, giving rise to his crusade to liberate the Thrall from subjugation and destroy their Jennerit oppressors. Attikus is a brawler in the purest use of the word, in that he attacks with his bare hands, but in two ways. His basic attack is alternating punches with each hand, and his secondary attack is a powerful hook using his harness-modified right hand that can be charged for additional damage. His passive skill, Hadronic Collector, is represented by a charge meter of 5 discrete units that increases by 1 for each kill and 5 for a major enemy. Attikus' play, at its very core, is centered around meter generation and spending to increase damage output. So, how does a full charge affect damage output? Good question. First off, when fully charged, all of his melee attacks gain 25% shield penetration. Melee attacks don't drain the meter, so feel free to pummel your enemies into the ground, but upon skill use, a fully charged meter will be drained, and that skill receives an additional effect. Pounce causes Attikus to leap to a target location, damaging and knocking back enemies where he lands. When fully charged, Attikus deals damage directly to enemy shields upon landing. Hadronic Arc electrifies Attikus for the next 8 seconds and deals a small damage over time shock effect to enemies hit by his melee attacks during this time. But when fully charged, the shock effect will arc to nearby enemies who weren't directly hit. His ultimate skill, Hadronic Eruption, sends 10 electrical pulses along the ground over 5 seconds, damaging enemies on contact. But when fully charged, enemies hit are knocked into the air as well. Overall, I think Attikus is a great choice for players who prefer to fight up close with overwhelming offensive power, and I think he's really going to shine in multiplayer. He doesn't quite fit my preferred style of melee combat, but I am looking forward to punching pretty much everything. I prefer fast but lower damage strikes in a character capable of both attack and defense, like some sort of Wrath Boulder hybrid. Someone like Galilea. Galilea Azmozeus was the most promising warrior of the Arbiters of Being, a sacred Eldrid order whose mission was to destroy the universe-altering technology developed by the Jennerit. Entrusted with a long undercover mission, she was embedded within the Jennerit ranks and became a member of the Silent Sisters, the priestesses responsible for Sustainment, the process by which the Jennerit elite are able to perpetually extend their lives. When it came time to complete her mission, Galilea attempted to sabotage this process, but she was discovered and attacked by Ambra. Unable to let her friend die at her own hands, Ambra attempted to use the sustainment process to save Galilea's life. But something went wrong. It left her immortal, but consumed by dark energy she couldn't control or understand. Galilea exiled herself to the icy moon of Bliss, seeking solitude among the old temples there. When the Peacekeepers settled the moon, they heard stories about the Wrath of Bliss, and sought to recruit her, giving Galilea her chance at redemption by fighting to save the last star from certain destruction. Galilea's primary attack is a swift combination of strikes with her Wraith's Great Sword and Sentinel's Great Shield, but in defensive situations, she can raise her shield to block damage from the front. Her passive skill, Corruption, is represented by a meter that goes up when she attacks enemies and uses skills. When the meter is full, she inflicts a damage over time effect on nearby enemies and steals their health. But be careful. If she goes too long without inflicting damage or using a skill, the meter will reset. With her shield throw skill, Galilea does just that, damaging and briefly stunning her target. Her second skill, Desecrate, creates an AoE on the ground that amplifies damage to enemies for 8 seconds. Finally, her ultimate skill, Abyssal Form, transforms her into the very dark energy she is plagued by for the next 4 seconds. During this time, she takes reduced damage and regenerates a set amount of health. From what I've seen so far, using Desecrate before Abyssal Form can conceal her location within the area of effect, making for what I'm sure are going to be some very interesting encounters, and I hope to do a few of them myself. And there you have it, Attikus and Galilea, the 5th and final members of the Jennerit and Peacekeepers respectively. There are still 5 heroes yet to be revealed, 1 Eldrid, 2 from the LLC, and 2 rogues, so expect coverage of those heroes in the future. If you found this video informative, please be sure to leave a thumbs up and a comment down below. Let me know which of these 2 brawlers you like the most. And finally, if you're new to my channel or you're interested in learning more about Battleborn, please consider subscribing because it really helps me out, and it's a convenient way for you to keep up to date with what's going on in the fight to save the last star. So until next time, thank you very much for watching.